Nearly every human being has a very basic longing. A longing to feel safe, secure, okay. We all have a very basic longing and desire to feel that we are all right. That how we are, who we are, what we are is okay. Because if we have that feeling that we're okay, that we're all right, that there's some kind of sense of safety that relates to us in an inner way, not just physical safety externally, but an inner kind of safety, which means that it's okay for us just to be here, then there's a feeling like we can relax. And if we know we're okay, then it's like we can just settle. We don't have to be trying. We don't have to be making something happen. I think all of us maybe have tastes of that in certain ways or places in our life, maybe with a good friend. Somebody that we feel safe with, that we feel comfortable with in the sense that they know us and we trust that we're okay with them. We don't have to be making ourselves be some particular way, that we can just relax. It's a very deep longing in each of us, really. It has to do with the sense of being able to be at peace in ourselves, to not be in some kind of inner conflict, not fighting with ourselves, not struggling with ourselves, not trying to figure something out. But it's a very elusive feeling. It's really fundamental to, in some way, to the modern human condition that we don't experience that state in general. We long for it. We want it. We're looking for it. Even if it's not consciously that we're looking for it, there's this desire to actually be okay. To be all right. To be enough. To be acceptable. And that longing is really fundamental to our relationship with our superego, with our judge, with our inner critic. Because when we were young, we developed, we learned to be in relationship with a part of us whose specific job was to help us feel okay. As little kids, we were dependent. We were totally dependent on our family, on our environment. Initially, we were dependent physically, but then as we got a little older, we were not so dependent physically. We could, when we were 3, 4, 5 years old, we could dress ourselves, we could get food out of the kitchen, we could do some things for ourselves, but we were still dependent in a fundamental way on our parents, on our family. Because we really couldn't operate in the world by ourselves. So it was very important that we were okay in that context. We were okay in that family. We found a way to be acceptable in our family, with our parents. And for most of us, it was a compromise. It was not the kind of okay we would have liked ultimately, but it was an okayness such that we could have the relationships work and we could survive and we could get some basic things we needed. But in order to be capable of feeling some independence as a child, we had to learn how to know ourselves when we were okay. We had to learn what were the things that would make us okay and what were the things that would make us not okay. And one of the most basic premises that this is, or assumptions that this is all based on as children, is that the okayness was determined by the outside. It was determined by our parents. It was determined by our family. It was not determined by us. We had to be okay for them. We had to be okay in that relationship. We had to be acceptable in that relationship, in that context, in that field. So we all developed a judge. An internal friend who kept track of when we were okay or not. So our judge became our connection to those standards of what would make us safe and what would make us acceptable and good or right or enough.